everybody, welcome to Garden Time with Belle. Well, it is a beautiful mid-October morning here in my Zone 6 Mid-Missouri garden, and I've been away for about a week, and I am so happy to be back home because I have a very long list that I made yesterday of things to do, and I'm going to take you along with me today as I check off one of the things on my list, and that would be harvesting my zinnia blooms for seeds, and actually probably cutting some of the zinnias and creating a little arrangement today. So that is what is on the schedule for today. One of the things that I like to do in my garden to create my to-do list is I'll occasionally grab my phone and walk around all the different flower beds and areas of the property and videotape them and narrate as I'm going. And like, okay, you need to pull this, you need to trim that, you need to prune this back, you need to harvest this. And that's just what I did yesterday to create this list. October is a wonderful time here in mid-Missouri. Things have cooled off, but most of the garden tasks that I tackle this time of year have to do with thinking about next year and what I need to be doing to my plants right now so that I can enjoy them next year, and harvesting zinnia seed so that you have free flowers forever is absolutely top of the list. So before I head into the greenhouse with you all and show you what I'm going to need for today's really simple project, I do have to mention the shirt I'm wearing. So I don't think I've shared this with you all, but sort of in my other life, I do work part-time for the Parents as Teachers National Office as a national trainer. And actually that's why I was in San Juan, Puerto Rico for our annual meetings, and it was a wonderful experience. So those of you out there that are subscribers or viewers, my Parents as Teachers friends, I'm going to give you a little shout out this morning. So anyhow, okay, so on to really what today's all about, and that is gardening. Before we head inside there, I'm going to invite everybody to please like and subscribe to my channel. Subscribing helps you know when I have loaded new content, uploaded new videos, and it helps me grow my channel and reach more gardeners just like you. All right, let's head in the greenhouse and grab what we're going to need for harvesting the zinnias so we can save seed for next year. Not too many things. I'm going to need a container to put the dried flower heads in and my snips. That's all there is to it. And in fact, actually, I'm going to probably end up harvesting some of the blooms and make a little arrangement. So I will be bringing that bucket of water in here to harvest some fresh flowers and harvest the other flowers for seed. So here we are next to my zinnia bed, and this is where we're going to be working this morning. But before I start sharing with you sort of the tips and tricks and considerations for saving zinnia seed, I just have to give a huge shout out to Erin from Floral Farm. If you don't know about her, I will make sure I put a link to her website in the description below. I credit Erin with giving me the courage and motivation to, first of all, grow dahlias, which I've never grown before until about, I think I started growing dahlias about 5 years ago, and for learning how to save seed. It could not be easier, but you know, there are some things you want to consider. And so I watched a recent mini gardening series of Erin's. And by the way, when you go to her website, you can sign up for mini garden courses. They are totally free and you will learn so much. She has it on how to save all kinds of seed. Dahlia seed, zinnia seed, celosia seed. So some of the easiest seed to save. Anyways, check her out. Oh my gosh, take her free online mini courses. You will learn a ton and be really inspired. So that's enough of a plug about Erin with Floral Farm. So let's get to what we're going to do first, and that is deciding when your zinnias are ripe enough for getting the most seed. So the first thing we need to consider is, when is it the best time to cut one of these flowers for seed? And so I wanted to show you what Erin would recommend. Oh my goodness, but okay, we have to push pause here because I have to show you my little friend, and this beautiful monarch has been in my garden on my zinnias for the last couple of days, and this is very bittersweet. If I come in close enough, do you see that wing on the right? It's been damaged, and that monarch is not going to make its way in the migration this year all the way to Mexico, but I am happy to have this sweet, beautiful butterfly hanging out in my garden for as long as it can. Okay, so how do you know when your zinnia blooms have aged enough, matured enough to really get the most seed? And I'll show you. This is what you're after. Do you see how awful and crusty this looks? And you might notice I have tagged or flagged 3 of my most favorite big, beautiful double zinnias from this Alpenglow mix. And I tagged them, oh, I don't know, probably a month or so ago to make sure I didn't cut them, or if I had any of my family or friends helping tend the garden while I've been traveling quite a bit, that they wouldn't cut some of these. So here's another one. Let me show you. All right. So this is what you're after. Really, really. Oh, hello, spider. Do you see the spider under there? Let's see if I can capture that. That spider is camouflaged. It looks just like the zinnia. Okay, so that's what you're after. This is not ready. This is too fresh. You might, if you're lucky, get a tiny amount of seeds from the underside, but if you can be patient and not cut all of your zinnias and leave them on the vine, I think Erin says from the time they're fully ripe and open and beautiful, it takes, what did she say, about, I don't know, 20 to 30 days of leaving them alone before they will really dry up and look like that. So that's where you want to be. That's the kind you want to cut. A lot of these other ones just keep pumping out fresh blooms, and I'm going to cut some of these here in just a minute to make bouquets. So all you need to do is grab some really nice snips, grab your tub, something to put the heads in, and come in, and I'm trying to do this one-handed, and just come right below. And you see right here, snip. Whoops, where did it go? Let me crawl in here and grab it and set it right in your container. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to harvest the other 2, and then I'll show you how we're going to go inside and how to remove the seeds. All right, so I've got 2 more to harvest. The ones that I've really let mature right under the top. 1, 2, and let's see if the spider's still on this one. It might be. I'm not sure. Okay, so number 3. What I didn't share is that actually I did let a few other ones not get this mature, but before I went on my recent trip, I did harvest some seed early on where they were about half ripe. And again, you're not going to get all the seed. You're going to get fewer from the very bottom part of the blossom. Those are the ones that ripen first. So let me show you here. Here's one. Might be a better example, and I'll bring it in really close so I can demonstrate what I'm talking about. So do you see how this flower is way past prime? If we were really careful and removed the seeds from the base, we would get some somewhat mature seeds. I'll bring these inside the greenhouse to show you maybe a little bit closer because I want to make sure you can see the difference. Okay. So we have the ripe blossoms, and now I'm going to not cut all these zinnias because I want a place for this beautiful monarch to hang out. But I am going to go ahead and cut some for a little tiny simple bouquet. As I'm cutting these, the other thing I want to mention that Erin mentions in her video is that this time of year powdery mildew is really common on zinnias, and perfectly okay because we strip the leaves anyways for bouquets, but it's also perfectly okay in terms of saving seed. It does not impact the quality of the seed on the blossoms at all. So don't be concerned that, oh my gosh, you know, the leaves look horrible. Am I going to not be able to get seed? You absolutely can. And so don't worry about that. All right, so I'm just going to finish up taking some cuttings, stripping the leaves, and then we'll meet you. I'll meet you in the greenhouse. I actually had forgotten a minute ago to harvest some parsley for my little zinnia bouquet that I'm going to make. And I absolutely love growing herbs, lots of herbs, and I grow them all from seed. So it could not be cheaper and more affordable, and plant them all over the garden. But they're wonderful as fillers. And this is some Italian flat leaf parsley, but also if you grow basil, all different kinds of basil makes wonderful filler for bouquets. So those of you out there that want to try your hand at starting seed, think about growing some fresh herbs in your garden and not only using them in the kitchen, but using them in your bouquets. All right. Back here in the greenhouse, ready to show you all how to harvest the seed. But I did make some notes from watching Erin's video and some tips that she gave us. And I think I misspoke out in the garden. So actually, Erin says from the time one of your zinnias is fully formed, it will take 2 to 3 months on average, depending upon your microclimate, for it to turn from, you know, a fully formed flower to something that resembles this. So I think I said 20 or 30 days. No, 2 to 3 months. And that's probably about right on what I did for mine. So, okay. So let's talk about just how to do it. I'm going to do it the easy way because I am just a home gardener, and my intention behind saving seed is for my own use, but also so I can give away seed. And I hope I mentioned the variety. This is from Floret Flower Farm, and this is called Alpenglow. And it is a mix, and the seed, the blossoms that I saved are the doubles, where they just get massive amounts of petals. And it's called Alpenglow because they have a glow quality, because within the same flower, you'll have shades of pink and orange and yellow. It is magnificent, and I am sold. One of the other reasons why I'm saving the seed, because I love these so much, is that the seed was expensive. A packet of Alpenglow seed, which obviously must be one of her most popular varieties that Erin created, is now $19. And so I have half of the seeds left, fresh seeds that I bought from last year in the seed packet in the house. But I love these so much. I definitely want to grow them again, but I also want to share seeds. So I'm going to show you the simple and easy way to do it when you're just somebody like me that's going to just save a few seeds, versus if you're on a flower farm, there's a whole thing on her website on how you can harvest many of these and save hundreds and hundreds of seeds. That's not what I'm after in my small home garden. All right, so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the camera in really close. I've got my little white work table here, so I think it's going to really show up well for you all. So that's the next step. So let's get to the harvesting of the seeds. So the best place to store your seeds is in an envelope. They make really cute, pretty envelopes, and I might get some of those, especially if you're going to give them as gifts. But the most important thing is that you use paper. You store them in paper, and envelopes is one of the best ways. Do not store them in a plastic tub or a plastic baggie, because if there's any moisture left in your seeds, they can mold, and you don't want to do that. So what I like to do is, let's see, I like to write the date. So it is October the 16th of 25, and I'm going to put Alpenglow, and I'm going to put saved from mature dried flowers. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I might have mentioned this out in the garden, but on August the 20th, you can see here, I saved some alpenglow seed from fresh flowers because I want to do an experiment this next summer when I plant these out. Is there a difference in viability of the seeds between really letting them get nice and ripe and dried versus a more fresh flower? And so I want to show you up close this particular one that I showed you in the garden. So this is, of course, got a lot of color on it still, so that would be considered fresh. But sometimes at the very base of the flower is where you can get viable seed. So if you look, I hope this is showing up nicely in the video. Here's the flower petal, but here is the seed right there. And let me, since I'm not behind the camera, I'm going to put it up against this white and get it close to the camera. So do you see? There's your seed and there's the petal. And the seed, you want it to be dark. You don't want it to be light. If it's really light and creamy, no way is it mature seed. So this one is darker and it's got some green to it. But let's try on the dried up ones, the really mature. Let's try pulling that seed and let's compare. Oh yes, big difference on what the seed looks like. So let me take, and we'll see if we can get it. This one, that seed, you can tell is dried. I can feel it's dry and it's darker. It's not got this green cast to it like this one does. It's really brown. All right, so there is a difference in how they look. And so basically what you want to do is you want to pull the seeds, the petals off, and then just remove the petals, and then you're left with the seed. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you that. I'll speed it up, but I am going to go ahead and pull all the seeds off of this and get the actual petal off. So all I'm left is with the seed. I mean, why not pull up a little chair, right? It's a beautiful fall morning, grab my coffee and just sit here and enjoy the morning and finish out harvesting more alpenglow zinnia seed. All right. Hundreds and hundreds of alpenglow zinnia seeds came from just 3 of the flowers. So imagine if you really want to gift your friends and yourselves and have loads of space to grow zinnias. Oh, it would be so easy. Now that we've finished harvesting all this gorgeous zinnia seed, I'm going to put that to the side and let's make a sweet little arrangement using some of the fresh zinnias that are still growing strong here in my mid-Missouri Zone 6 garden in the middle of October. We haven't had a frost at all yet. I would expect in the next couple of weeks, maybe we'll start getting our first frost. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use this adorable terracotta little footed vessel. Those of you that watch my channel, I posted a video, I don't remember, it's been a month or two ago, of me going to flower school. had a really good friend that hosted this beautiful event where you got to come and have snacks, tour her cut flower garden, and then we were led in floral arranging from a florist here in mid-Missouri. And we got to take our arrangements home, of course, as well as this adorable little pot. So I'm going to use that. The other thing that I like to use, and I got this from class, but I also have some of this. This is kind of like chicken wire, but it's specifically made for floral arrangements. You wad it up in a ball, you shove it down into whatever vessel you are using for your arrangements. And what that does is it helps your stems not flop. It makes arranging so easy. So of course it works great in a vessel that you can't see through, and that's what I'm going to do today. So I've got that in there. Of course, need to add some water. And I would add floral food if I were in my house doing this. I find that it works, but you don't have to. So I'll probably add some floral food to it later. Let me get my towel here and dry that up. Okay, so just need my snips. Now remember, I picked parsley, and one of the things we learned at flower school was to start building your base. Build like a little nest at the bottom before you start adding your flowers. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to build a little base using my parsley, and letting it drape over the sides is a really good idea. So that's what I'm going to do. We'll see how it ends up looking. So I think I might go even shorter. This is just for me in my home. I am not after perfection. I am after celebrating the season before the frost takes away all of my beautiful zinnias. Okay, so I've got a little bit of a base there. I think that's good enough for now. This is edible. This is a flat leaf parsley, so whatever I don't use for my floral arrangement, I'm going to make sure I clean up and take in the house and use for my cooking. All right. So let's just get after it. Okay, so let's see. Oh, the sun is just now coming out. We'll get rid of the stems for the compost pile. So let's take a look. I mean, alpenglow zinnias, absolutely spectacular. Well, thank you all so much for hanging out with me in the garden today as I got to take you along and hopefully inspire you to save your seeds. Free flowers forever. You can't go wrong with that. And of course, I had to harvest some of these late season zinnias that just keep pumping out blooms. Hoping our frost stays away for a few more weeks, and I will continue to be able to create these little beauties for inside the house. So until next time, I want to wish everybody out there happy gardening.